I'm the chair of the Master's in Advanced Study program in Marine Biodiversity and Conservation. And I want to welcome you all to our capstone symposium for 2009-2010. We have quite a program for you today, I think. And you'll see some of the diversity of stuff which is done by our Master's in Advanced Study students. First of all, just a little bit about what the Master's in Advanced Study program is, for those of you who are sort of committee members or whatever, and haven't had sort of the intimate exposure that all students have. This started with an idea to train mid-career professionals coming out of agencies or out of private practice. And what has emerged is actually a lot more interesting than that, because what we've managed to do is to bring in students from a very diverse array of backgrounds. As you will see, everybody from educators to people in business to people thinking about policy and other fields. And we have selected particularly students who have shown some degree of active or academic giftedness. So you can feel very proud of yourselves for being in this program in the first place. And also that we have tried to find students who have shown a commitment to conservation issues, with the idea that our students, after this sort of 1 year of very intense training in marine biodiversity and conservation, will go back out into the general marketplace and hopefully make a real difference when it comes to thinking about policy, thinking about how businesses deal with conservation issues, thinking about sort of public education and also the education of people in regular academic settings. And that really has been our major goal. Now, it's been kind of an interesting fusion because, of course, we've also had the master's program allied with a PhD program in the same general topic area. And I think it's been really extremely interesting to see how all that works out both culturally and academically, because the master's students come in with such diverse backgrounds and have also typically had some kind of work experience before coming into the program. And our PhD students, on the other hand, are mostly coming out of other academic programs and don't have quite that depth of experience. And of course are going on into a much longer term kind of commitment of maybe 4 to 6 years of a PhD program. And so putting together the master's and the PhD students, I think has been really it sort of catalyzes a lot of interesting things when it comes to thinking about the sort of the practical side of doing conservation biology and also thinking about the sort of the academic pursuit of knowledge and of sort of thinking about new ways of practicing conservation. So that's all been very interesting, and I have to say that as the chair of the program and also as the principal investigator for an IGERT project that funds the PhD program in Global Change, Marine Ecosystems and Society, our title, it has really been extremely interesting to see how all of this has played out. And I think it's been very successful for the most part. If you look at, I just came back from a national meeting of IGERTs in Washington, D.C. There are IGERT projects all over the country funded by the National Science Foundation. And I really have to say that I think our program shines particularly well. Not only because we have such a great theme and are dealing with really topical issues in global change impacts on the oceans, but also because we have managed to attract such an interesting group of students. And I also have to send a word of thanks to Penny Doherty for being, as she puts it, our mom in this particular program. Okay, so where are we here? I think that what we really want to do is to have all of you as master's students go off with this intensive year of training and of interaction with lots of other bright people and with interaction with all the faculty and staff and capstone advisors and committee members, and go off and make a real big impact in conservation biology. So that is the big goal here in this particular program. So now a little bit about the capstone projects themselves. The capstones, of course, are not typical master's theses. For one thing, they involve a research component as well as some other aspect of policy, education, business, are all possibilities, lots of other things as well. The creativity of our students comes out in trying to meld various aspects of conservation biology together with thinking about how that information gets out into the public marketplace for ideas. And so what we really want to do in the capstone projects, which the students have been working on intensively for a couple of months now, some of them have been thinking about these projects for the past year or so, but with really most of the intensive work being quite recently, is that the idea here is to give both an opportunity to do an original piece of research, but also to connect with a broader group of people outside the university or within the university. So the program as a whole brings together not only people here at SIO, representing the marine sciences for the most part, but also all of the social sciences and humanities programs and business programs on the main campus at UCSD. And then in addition to that, many of our students have worked with outside partners at non-governmental organizations or other organizations that they have found are useful in the particular research programs that they've put together. So I think you'll agree after hearing all the projects today that this sort of very strongly interdisciplinary program I think has been really quite successful. Now I want to offer a few thanks before I shut up. I think first of all I have to offer very sincerest thanks to the program and myself for all of you who have interacted with our master's students, particularly those who have played the role as capstone advisors or capstone committee members. It is really with your efforts that this whole program works. It's always kind of an interesting process of doing sort of speed dating in some respects, trying to get our master's students alive with a group of people who will then help them formulate their capstone ideas into something more tangible. I also want to thank the faculty and staff at UCSD and here at Scripps for all the efforts that they put into not only as in sort of involvement with the capstone program, but also in their instruction of courses and the informal conversations that you hold in the hallways. That also goes for our PhD students who have been involved in the master's program. I think that you always learn a lot more from your fellow students than from any of your professors, I think. And so the PhD students deserve a round of thanks as well. And then finally, I want to thank Russ Chapman in the back and Jane Weinstrahl here for their sort of leadership in this program in keeping the whole thing kind of, well, keeping it going more or less, and particularly playing this role of finding connections for our master's students in the sort of broader array of faculty and outside advisors that makes the whole program work. Let's see. And then, of course, absolutely the most important ingredient in all of this are the master's students themselves. So I want to thank you all for giving us a try. I hope that you've had a good experience here at SIO. And I think that it's through your enthusiasm and through your dedication to marine conservation that we will expect to see all sorts of great things out of you. So, and I particularly hope that in coming years you will rise to such positions of power and influence that you will hire some of our PhD students. All right, anyway, so the form of this particular capstone proposal or capstone symposium is going to be that we'll have 10-minute presentations by students. Well, 15.
5.
Yeah, exactly. Right, okay. And we will keep tabs on your time. Yes, sorry. Totally. And so we will keep tabs on your time so that we are able to keep this whole thing going at a relatively regular pace. People will be coming in and out because not all of the capstone advisors have been able to be here through the entire day. And so, very good. Keep to your time. All right, James, you want to do first? Okay.